close ever since. He's pulled me along to different things and stuff, and so he asked me to help, and I'm just happy to do whatever help I can. And I just put together just something for people that may not know Tepo Tuku. So it was easy for me just to write a little summary. Tepo Tuku was born in Lhasa, Tibet, recognized by senior monks as the 8th Tepo Tuku while very young age. However, in 1959, many monks and lay people would be forced to flee the Maoist brutal takeover of Tibet. At the age of 5, during the loss of Tibetan uprising, he and his family narrowly escaped into India as he was carried across the Himalayas on the shoulders of monks. While accompanying His Holiness the Dalai Lama as an exile, he was educated in India and entered the monastic training, later working closely with the Tibetan exile community and monastic institutions of Dharamsala, India. Over time, he became involved in archival preservation efforts consistent with the broader Tibetan traditions to safeguard the Buddhist teachings. Later, Tepo would give up his role in Dharamsala and settle in the United States. Currently, he lives in Santa Barbara, where he chooses to earn a living doing work at a cafe on State Street. Balancing secular work with deeper spiritual service, known as a spiritual teacher, activist, and advocate for human rights, Tepo has traveled, taught, and served as a moral, compassionate presence in the Tibetan community for decades. At some point, he chose to live beyond the monastic walls and step away from formal monastic vows. However, His Holiness the Dalai Lama famously encouraged him by saying, "You are no longer a monk, that's okay, but you still must do the work." Thus, Tepo Tuku continues to serve and teach, embodying Buddhist ethical values through community service and wisdom sharing as his legacy and his continual focus. Today, he is celebrated as a beloved spiritual teacher whose life bridges traditional responsibilities with community engagement. His secular service history has become a symbol of humility, resilience, and devotion, encouraging the interconnection between East and West spiritual traditions. I'm sure there's a lot more to say, but that gives an idea, just a little piece about him.
So thank you very much for, let me say, Matt, that he's been known for a long time, good friend, special friend. And Matt is also a very, very serious practitioner for the Dharma. And he is most of his time spent on meditations, rituals, and he has a lot of experience with getting teaching from many different lamas. So as done today, the reason I'm giving empowerment of the Grand Thara, because of the main reason is it's supposed to be, this is not like a teaching explanation of any practice, it's more like empowerment. Empowerment means basically we do a lot of practice together today, rituals, meditate a little bit, and main empowerment means what we do the prayer that came from the lineage, came from the Buddha, the Tara, unbreakable until now. So that's why I was very fortunate. My empowerment for the Tara lineage came from, I got received from His Holiness 14th Dalai Lama for a number of times. And also I received a couple of times from Sakya Chinzir, and I received the empowerment from His Holiness Dalai Lama's two tutors. So that's why the reason I was transferring this to you all. And basically when you are coming here to receive empowerment, means you already have some understanding of the practice of Dharma, especially connection with Dharma. And so So once you have the connection, it's nice to have the continuation of the blessing through impeccable through the Buddha to transfer to you. So that's basically I came here to just forwarding the blessing, So it's not like a detail about the teaching and talk about much about the practice, because the practice is not it's not like a one day short time practice. This today is empowerment is something you get connected with the Dharma from the unbreakable blessing, and same time you get empowered, meaning you get a permission to go on your personal level to practice. So this is the first starting you are who, if you are really want to be connected to Dharma and practice Dharma, from today you have sometimes get the blessing directly from Dharma, because our traditionally this morning, early morning, I wake up, I did a short prayer, self-initiation of the Tara. That means that you do the self-realization of the Tara concept. And so, when I tell you a little bit about just Tara, Tara is not, a lot of people say Tara, we can see, today we're giving the green Tara. We have a Tara, mostly the popular Tara, there are many different Tara, but popular Tara is white Tara and green Tara. White Tara is more like traditionally long life prayers. We are people who are something with powerful, but all the same, Buddha's in manifestation. But and the green Tara is more you give me the power, energy, and protection for the what we can say for the your future. You're not only pray. Yes, we are Buddhist and practitioners. We call it his Tara, especially the Tara practice is a Mahayana practice. Mahayana practice means you are selfless. This is the most important. You are practicing is selfless and benefiting to the other beings, benefiting and in a regular world with for the world peace, and it means mainly not only yourself, not only for the human being, all the sentient being, and accept not only for the human beings, not sentient beings, all the septic environment. Very important you set the environment energy in. It's very important to make that whole the planet be safe. So this is your purpose. You're really doing the practice is not only yourself. Purpose is you're doing this something, you're doing the right thing to be shared with the community and for the sentient being to benefit, to make more, make that we all one. That's a very, we don't say like we all one, but that's the what our mind generating our mind is from today. You have to try to distinct with the I, me. That's the meaning. That's that aspect is most important. Is be all dependent on all human beings, sentient being, all we all the same. You all, everybody want happy, nobody wants suffering, and so through this practice, we have a little energy, power to contribute to the others to make a better peace. But that's the main purpose. And I said, talk about the Tara. The long Tara is not with like a. We are talking regularly, generally Tibetan. We historically Tara. We talk about from the 2,500 Buddhas giving teaching through that, but actually not. Is the Tara is connected to so many thousand years before there was you call that time you call there was a Buddha called Tejishepa Ngada. Tejishepa Ngada means there's that time there is one lady, the one girl, her name is Ishidawa. Ishidawa means wisdom moon. And at that time, she is the princess. And the Buddha was the Ishi Ngada. That was the Deshinsha Ngada. That was maybe like a thousand years before. That was not before the Buddha Shakyamuni, before. And that time, she dedicated one of the Buddha Deshinsha. From today, she is going to be liberated, all the sentient beings, through all her life, through female form. Female form. That was her dedication. And from then, her name came back to the Tara. So Tara was until now, all her aspect, all the benefiting form is all female form. That's why we call it Tara is one of the female deities who is main purpose for the benefiting for the sentient being, and that's why we practice Tara blessing, because that's her history came from the thousand people years before the Shakyamuni came. And then when the Shakyamuni came, then we call it that Shakyamuni was practicing before Shakyamuni became a Buddha, enlightened. Shakyamuni was enlightened. Shakyamuni was practicing the meditation in the many months, and Shakyamuni was under the tree before enlightened. That time there was one farmer's daughter, and she offered him Shakyamuni. Tibetan we call it yogurt. In the textbook there's a yogurt, but Indian lot of histories I was reading, they said rice pudding. Basically, the lady was daily offering Shakyamuni for rice pudding, the yogurt. That's only where Shakyamuni was survived to complete his meditation and became a Buddha. And so that's slowly we find out that the lady who was the name of the lady who was the farmer's the lady, she is actually the manifest of the Tara. So Tara was basically people, if you are really seriously practitioner, she is always support you. Support doesn't mean teaching you. Support you means that anything will be maybe not obstacle to your practice, something to be guide on you, or something to do. It's not necessary to be any necessary to be like I'm your teacher, I'm to help you. No, it's just it come up with you and it support you and make you your Dharma practice in complete. For example, like Shakyamuni. Shakyamuni was also enlightened, but through his meditation, through her practice, the Tara, green Tara is always there to support him to make the. Before that time, Shakyamuni had a very meditation part. Shakyamuni has a lot of practice, and he has not much problem on that practice. But he is a human being. He need to be survived. He need to be food. He almost like dying. He's like a very weak. So that the farmer's daughter came and just came with no any other area, that she just show up and give him the rice pudding. Through that rice pudding, Buddha Shakyamuni complete his practice and became Dharma and became enlightened. So that's why we call Gurudara as one of the very powerful, very special practice. You don't need to be any fancy, nothing to do fancy anything. You can be through deep her close with you. That's what we get. Empowerment makes her close with you. permission to practice. So what we do today, we do a lot of rituals. The ritual is the part of the green taras, part of the traditions, and also that make you the power energy into you, and then you have that capability to practice. It doesn't mean today. It doesn't mean today we give you empowerment. You got all the power, and tomorrow you don't need to do anything. No, this is just only beginning. Just you open your starting to. So main purpose, if you're really practitioner, this is from today. You have to continually go through the teaching, Dharma teaching, and you go through the practice. When you practice, it's also very important. A lot of people, some people are very serious. Some people take a dedicate for your life and see it from tomorrow. You go meditate to the retreat for the mountain and the cave, and it's also not necessary. Your meditation is your life. Every day you need your meditation, your practice. Then there is no separate between practice and no practice. Your life you have to practice. So that means every Tara teaching, Buddhist teaching, or the meditation, morning you generate the bodhicitta. Bodhicitta means basically in Sanskrit bodhicitta. Also you can call it compassion. But to meditate your one day compassion is not going to be you are a compassionate person, but you have to generate every morning. You have to generate your compassion. You have to think about how you be but the beginning you have to think about how you be a better person, how you can be something be a benefit for somebody, something going to be positive that day. This is very important to beginning to practice. No matter how much you high level mantra you do, no matter how much you spend time in your room, but if your compassion generate not be separate from that practice, then that mantra is it's not going to be help. Mantra is just for become like a chanting, but it's not going to be benefit. But the benefit means each mantra is bring you the focus. Mantra bring you the energy. Tara mantra bring you energy. Tara mantra bring you focus. But the main purpose is your daily life. Every day, you need to generate early morning. The generate means, for example, like any place you go to work. If you are new work, today you work, you got hired. Tomorrow you're not going to be professional. You have to take a lot of time to experience to get better, get experience, and then you will be very professional. Similar, the Dharma practice also. Dharma practice, you don't need to push so hard. In one day you want to be a pure person. So every day you generate your good heart. Every morning when you wake up, you generate positive mind. And then also when you daily life, very important to the meditation. The meditation has two different things. One different thing, the morning, every morning you sit down yourself, focus, and you think all that positive. Second thing is awareness. Awareness is always comes with you every day. Whenever you go to work or you drive or everything, that's awareness. Awareness is the most important than the meditation, because awareness will bring you to anything, something you are negative things you have to realize, and then that will be stopped, and the focus you bring back to the positive. And that's what is very important. That's what we call the meditation is awareness meditation. Concentration, one point meditation, and awareness meditation. Concentration, one point is we are beginning, so we don't have a very we have a lot of obstacles. We have a lot of negatives. So through the negative, it's not easy to you can be go diet correctly. But this focus will make your mental focus. Then once your mental focus, then once your daily lifestyle, then your awareness, everything you think something your mind comes with something negative mind, you have to know that the negative is coming. Then your positive generation will protect it and then avoid from there and try to go to the better. So this is the ordinary way speaking is like a better person. Better means a human, better person or better human being. The better, I don't know the good word or not. Basically, you want to be your life be meaningful. We have a life. Long life means 100 years, maybe short life in 20 years, whatever you have, what you have. You have to spend that your life to be a meaningful life, something that you will feel positive, something benefit others. So that's why the Tara Puja is one of the very supportive to your part of the practice to become a beneficial sense being or better person, a better person. That's what the main purpose we are doing is here is through that level. So you need Tara meditations. Tara meditations because I believe when we do the Tara empowerment means you're supposed to have some experience of the Tara, and so we will do the prayers. Through the prayer, there is a meaning of the practice, so you can be in future you can go through and you can do more practice. So that it will help. So from my duty for you today, as I told you from the Buddha Shakyamuni, then it came to India for the Nagarjuna, then it came to they came to the Nagarjuna lineage. From the Nagarjuna, they came to the Atisha, Devamkara, from the Devamkara, and then came to Tibet. The lineage came from India to Tibet. And mainly my lineage, I'm talking about my lineage through which I received from Dalai Lama, it came from the Atisha, Devamkara. Then Devamkara came to Tibet, and from Tibet, Devamkara, then it came to the first Dalai Lama. First Dalai Lama was like 1391 to 1474. From the first Dalai Lama through they went to the fifth Dalai Lama, then fifth Dalai Lama to 13th Dalai Lama, then from 13th Dalai Lama to 14th Dalai Lama. That the gap is 14th Dalai Lama was July 6, 1935. So all this from this practice came from the lineage, came from direct from the Buddha to Nagarjuna, through Nagarjuna to Devamkara, from Devamkara to first Dalai Lama, then fifth Dalai Lama. There's a different gap, but there are some, but mainly fifth Dalai Lama, and mainly they came from 13th Dalai Lama, and then came to 14th Dalai Lama. So this is all from 14th Dalai Lama. I received at least 8 times Tara initial empowerment from Dalai Lama. So that's why the reason I'm giving to you blessing is because of that lineage was unbreakable, coming through direct from the Tara to the Buddha to Nagarjuna, Nagarjuna to Atisha, Atisha to Dalai Lama, Dalai Lama to not only me, we have a lot of lamas together. So I'm the one of the fortunate person to receive empowerment. So this is my duty to give the transfer that power blessing to you. That's what the work we're doing today. And so also I have to tell you, before the Dalai Lama, we call my practice was mostly my lineage called Tsongkhapa. Tsongkhapa is a Tibetan. We have 4 different schools. We call a Yellowhead School, Red Hat schools, Black Hat schools, and Sakya schools, lineage, all lineages, principal all said they all practice follow the practice bring data. But my particularly teaching that was came through a teacher to Tsongkhapa. Tsongkhapa is the main one of the who get the teaching from all different schools, and it became formed a dependent monastery called Ganden Monastery. Ganden Monastery is that which I was trained. I was admitted that the monastery is Ganden. That is the Tsongkhapa's place. And the Tsongkhapa, what is the main? That Ganden monastery was 1409. That was the monastery was established. And mainly Tsongkhapa emphasized the union of the method and wisdom, meaning of compassion, bodhicitta, together with a direct realization of emptiness. That was the main principle practice is the emptiness. We Tibetans believe the very important Mahayana Tibetan Buddhists believe the emptiness is a very important part of the practice. Emptiness means everything is not exist from your own nature. Everything is not exist from your nature. This is the short way to explain. That basically that will be once you start practicing the emptiness, then it will be you understand the selfless. You will be understand that how selfish will be to destroy your negativeness and destroy the whole generating all the ignorance and suffering. So to avoid the suffering, you have to practice the understanding of the emptiness. Emptiness is not because it's empty, but it mainly is more selfless, realization of the selfless. And then through your selfless generation, then you have a comfortable to benefit other beings. And that was a very important part of our practice. So today, what we're going to do is right now, we're going to start with some prayer. Traditionally, you're going to do some start with a prayer. Okay, right now we're going to pray before and after teachings. We have to traditionally, before the Amen, we do some prayers. And so that was, okay, you're doing different? Huh? This one? Yeah. Okay, we're doing the...
Let's pass this up. Everybody got a little bit more fun.
Is it right now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, leave the rice. Yeah.
Take a little bit of rice.
Maybe a little bit more of that. That's okay, you offered that.
Yeah.
Maybe we can just pass it on. Sure, I know.
Oh, you should keep it. It'll come back.
Okay.
Here, I see this one. You should have tissue.
English?
This one? We're not going to do this?
You can do that first too.
Okay.
number,